Salutations, respected viewers. I'm George from Ireland. Here I am on Covent Garden in London. So this is a famous area for street performances, little shops selling bric-a-brac and knick-knacks and so on. Bric-a-brac, I should say. So behind me is St. Paul's, known as the Actors' Church. So a lot of actors have their funerals there. You can see there's a cobblestone floor here. Very glad they've kept that, as in to stop horses sliding on their hooves. So for centuries this has been a place to come and relax and watch street performers, and you'll see lots of foreign adolescents from these language schools. There are gaggles of them going around at the moment, and in there there's this arcade with lots of little boutiques, eateries and so forth. So Covent Garden, well, what does Covent mean? It should be Convent Garden, but it dropped an N, so it's mispronounced. It's obviously just spelt Covent Garden, not convent, and that's why. So there was a convent centuries ago, which was closed under the dissolution of the monasteries, 1536 to 1540. Not sure when this one was closed. Okay, so there's a street performance going on here.
Here we go, everybody. We're gonna play music.
You'll see jugglers, you'll see fire eaters, magic tricks, people on unicycles, people who can kick the ball up to themselves 50 times. Encourage audience participation and donate. Anyway, so give you a brief tour of Covent Garden. Just off this is King Street, what is back there, that away, and there's a branch of HSBC, and that used to be the headquarters of the Communist Party of Great Britain, which was dissolved about 1991, as in at the breakup of the Soviet Union, which was secretly bankrolling it. Anyway, so you can see there's some very fine early 19th century, in other cases 18th century houses around here. Now this place used to have a fruit and vegetable market, flower market, and only, I think it's in the 1970s, this moved out. There's a place called New Covent Garden, which is south of the River Thames, near Vauxhall railway station. So that's called New Covent Garden. And I remember meeting an American tourist here, asked for Covent Garden Market. And I think one of the parts of this is called Covent Garden Market, but it's not a market in that sense, with those stalls for fruit and veg, okay? So there are lots of tourist trinkets to be had around here. Bureau de change and so on, and we're very close to Fleet Street. Fleet Street's that way, and we're more or less in the West End, theatre land, okay, which is why they're selling cut price tickets. You see, always buy these things not from the box office at the theatre. It's rather cheaper here. It might even be as little as half price if you buy from one of those places. So anyway, they are selling clothes here, but it's not the fruit and veg anymore. They're selling these little trinkets, souvenirs, mementos of London, but I would recommend you don't buy from these places because it tends to be rubbish quality stuff they are selling, and you can't come and get your money back, and there are loads of shops selling all the same stuff, so they're not relying on repeat business, and you'll find that it's very substandard quality. You get home and it's itchy material, and you'll find that it's squint, and the colour washes out after just a few washes and blah blah blah. So there we are. So a lot of street food. Maybe perhaps you're getting the idea. But anyway, it's not great for street performances at the moment. When we go over the other side, nearer to Covent Garden Tube Station, there are usually a lot more there. So particularly in the evenings or Saturday and Sunday, it being the summer with plenty of tourists around, you think they'll be active. But we'll take a look. And look at this converted tram as a hot dog stall. Or was it only just made to look like a tram? It wasn't actually a tram. Okay, in the corner here, London Transport Museum, as in they've got an old bus. It doesn't actually move anywhere, you can see and find out loads about that. Okay, and there's a film museum around the corner, which would, and there's a James Bond exhibition on at the moment. When was the first James Bond film? Was it 1962? Was Dr. No? Okay, so some of these things are quite high-end, these restaurants, bars and things like that. And then I'll go through the arcade section of it, which has been up since 1839. So very close to the Royal Opera House. The Royal Opera House is also where the Royal Ballet performs. They share the venue, okay? And was doing very badly financially in the early 1990s, and the government saved it, which is a little bit controversial. Because therefore people who are on very low incomes are effectively subsidising entertainment for the affluent. There's the Royal Coat of Arms, because it's the Royal Opera House. Okay, see, it goes like that, quite big. I won't go around to the front of it. So this is Russell Street. And along here is the famous bar where Dr. Johnson, one of the first compilers of a dictionary, met James Boswell, his autobiographer, his amanuensis as it were, who recorded his incredibly witty and sesquipedalian conversation. Right, so here are these arcades. Well, I don't know, what would I say, colonnade for these shops. So, pucker close. And above me, that's all part of the Royal Opera House, as in where they're doing makeup, where they have their practice stages and so forth. Okay? What would they call them? Dressing room. So coming up to having done the full circuit of Covent Garden. So some of it's quite modern, fairly anodyne, as you'd see on almost any high street. We are central London, so it tends to be the expensive end of that. And then we'll go into something a bit more special. We'll come out to where the street performers are, maybe because it's just so unusually refulgent, it's keeping people off the streets. Tomorrow is meant to be a record high, meant to be 37 degrees, a heat wave such as London has never experienced. Okay, so these guys will have a show on, no doubt, at some point. The bloke with the topper, who looks like somebody's gearing up for something. Okay, up towards Covent Garden Tube Station. Now on this street they usually have street performers. See some guys okay, so there's going to be a sponsored stillness thing. Look what he's dressed up at. He's got a body like me, lucky bloke. So they dress up as all sorts of funny things. And then this guy's pretending to be hovering in the air because he's got some stick under his coat and that's attached to his seat. I mean, that was original 10 years ago, but people doing it still. This guy's blowing in the wind. Look at his hair, look at his tie. That's an awful lot of hairspray. Look at this one here. Domnișoara, sunteți româncă? Am recunoscut dumneavoastră.
Ai recunoscut dumneavoastră, dar sunteți român?
Da, eu știu.
Aveți un accent diferit.
See, I met her before, that Romanian lady. Okay, so looks like we're running out of street performances, but a few snacks and a few pubs along here. And then slightly up the slope, you can possibly see the tube sign, and that's Covent Garden Tube. All right, so let's go. So it's a completely pedestrian area, which is why there are so many street performances. Let's keep it that way. Get out of your car, walk around, get off your ass. Bit of light exercise. Now we get the idea. So he's got to hold that pose for ages. So give him a few coppers. I find it decidedly unimpressive. So he's going to do some magic show. Yeah, I've seen this.
You're going to get a prize potentially if you watch this show.
I'm
not going to tell you what that prize is because otherwise it would spoil it. It wouldn't be a mystery anymore.
Okay, Covent Garden Market, and up there it says "Que sera sera" in like dog French, as in writing CH for K, which should be QUE. All right, so let's go in to this area, this arcade, and see what they have. Get you even more of a flavour of Covent Garden. So none of the shops are big here. They're all parts of chains, but all individuals. It's not a shopping mall exactly. And so this is open to the elements. Okay, it's got a roof over it here. As you can see, it's got a roof, but the air is coming in, so it could be cool sometimes. So it's always bustling with life. Good place to buy Christmas presents, things like that. Get your hair braided, get your picture drawn, get your face painted, your palm red. There used to be some Romani people hanging around offering to do that. Tarot card readers and such like. And there was a thing called street ball here long ago. I don't know, encouraging people to, take basketball shots. Okay. Oh, and the little stall selling goodness knows what. Oh, sweets and things like that. Doll didies. Oddments. Infants' clothing. Behind me. Ben's Cookies. Started in the covered market in Oxford, Ben's Cookies. Now it's a worldwide brand. Remember when I was working for the Oxford Union, offering them to advertise on our term card, the man said we don't need to, because advertising is the best word of mouth and everybody wanted his product. Okay, gelateria. And what else? So this is Covent Garden Market. Something about Punch and Judy show. Punch and Judy goes back to the Middle Ages, this well-known puppet show. There's some sort of irascible man and his even more irate wife, and she's always hitting him over the head. There they are, Punch and Judy, and they think that Punch, he goes back to, what is it? It's some sort of illness where it gives you that rasping voice. And then there was Punch magazine, a sort of satirical political commentary magazine in the 19th century. You should read Paddy and Mr. Punch by Professor Fitzroy Foster about sort of the British populist press's take on Ireland in the 19th century. Okay, so look at this display of verdure. None of it for sale. And by the way, there's a lower level down there to Covent Garden. Okay, so shop selling all sorts. Do I hear string quartet? So the place is teeming. There are not that many performances, you know. It's not in the covered area. They have it usually outside. So, tourists by the thousand, hey? So they're down there. Got to get to a decent angle such that I can show you what's going on. There they are. Okay, above my finger, that's where they are. Anyway, they just stopped at an inopportune moment. Okay, buy these caps, cloth caps, if you're an old git or a countryman. I'm neither. Selling tobacco and pipes and walking sticks. If you're a young Fergie, might suit you. And this Scots soldier with that hat, that bonnet, kilt. I know in St. Patrick's Day in the United States they wear them, but they're actually Scots things, not Irish things they're wearing. Now, it doesn't bother me over much. Is that splitting hairs? What if they wore an English thing rather than an Irish thing? Oh, we can't possibly do that. We can't possibly acknowledge that the English have loads in common with us. Okay. Anyway, so that is a brief view of Covent Garden and some of the things to see. It's different. It's variegated. It's fairly alluring. It's not fantastic. That's Covent Garden. I'll switch it off now.